Hello and welcome to Voices from the Park, our listening project, where we hear about the lives and thoughts of some of the wonderful people of the South Pennines Park. Today, we're listening to...
My name is Zaheer Khalil. I've just turned 50, born in Halifax, so through and through Yorkshire lad. I live quite close to the town centre, which really is home for me. I have a sense of belonging here. I've lived in this area all my life. It really is a wonderful, vibrant town, has rich history. This is one of the centres of the textile industry back in the days. We've got some architectural jewels in our town. 10, 15 minutes walk in any direction. I'm up in the hills. To be honest, there is no place on earth I'd rather be than where I am at the moment. There is nothing better than to be sat on top of a hill or a mountain with a cup of tea and just admiring the views. I'm sorry, but it's got to be Yorkshire to you when you're a Yorkshire lad. I love the sound of running water and campfires. We do a lot of camping, scouting, the sounds of nature where you just hear the birds singing and the water flowing without any people. And I do like to go for walks by myself as well. I enjoy the social interaction of going in a group as well, but equally sometimes I just like to go by myself and just enjoy the peace and tranquility and the sounds of nature. If I actually go back in my childhood, my parents, I've got Kashmiri heritage, and I remember going and visiting my grandparents back in the mid-80s, and I've got really vivid, beautiful memories of that visit. I come from a little village, and people are all farmers. Farming is the oldest occupation in the world. I think that's where my love of the countryside and nature and all things outdoors originates from. And I've got really, really fond memories of just walking through the cornfields. We live on the edge of a dam. Village is literally 100 meters away from the water. We used to spend all day going out chasing dragonflies and fishing. There's a few places that we visit quite often, either with the scout group or the family or even by myself. We're just spoiled for choice where we are. We're blessed with having so much greenery around us. A few places that really stand out, the walks on the top of Withins towards Ogden and Oxenhope. It's a wonderful area, and Hardcastle Crags, which is literally on our doorstep. My family really likes going to Duffstone Reservoir, up to the Indian's Head and walk towards Chew Reservoir. 15, 20 minutes and you're up at Beacon Hill, where you've got the most amazing panoramic views, especially at sunset. You get some amazing sunset from the top of Beacon Hill. I worked in London actually in the early 2000s. I came back in 2002. That's when I really realised how much I missed our local area. And I started exploring, going out walking and hiking. Then I got involved in a local charity. I joined the board of the Healthy Living Partnership. The aims were promoting health and well-being, mental and physical. That really generated that spark. I can see how I've benefited. This is something which everyone needs to be doing. There's massive inequalities in health outcomes, access to health facilities, and we had to do something about it. Obviously, the first generation had different priorities. They came here, they worked really, really hard, working 18, 20-hour shifts. For them, there was no time for them to go and access the countryside. 50 years later, we have to start paying attention to our health. I started encouraging a small group of friends. We started going out, and then things kind of just snowballed from there, sending out the simple messages. We live in this amazing area. We're living in a society where we're in a constant state of anxiety and fear. This is the only way of actually getting away from that. Clearing your head, the mental and the physical benefits are well documented. The responses we were getting from people were, well, we don't know where to go. We don't have the confidence. We can't navigate. Is it safe to go into the countryside? I think it's been seen as a privilege for the white middle classes. We've seen over the last 2-3 years, actually, that more and more people from our community are accessing these areas. It's a newfound confidence. And I guess COVID had a role to play in that. More and more people are seeing the benefits of going out and exploring the local area and looking after their health. It's really important that we engage with people at a grassroots level. We have many initiatives coming from either local government or the NHS, but unfortunately, a lot of these programs, these initiatives are very short term. We were involved in a walking project a couple of years ago to encourage more local people to walk more, whether you're going down into the town centre or you're going to the school. We did that really, really successfully. You need champions, you need people to lead these walks, make people understand that it's not too difficult to walk to the town centre. In fact, it's probably much easier. And also the benefits to the environment. We're seeing the devastating impact of climate change around the world, and we've got to be doing more. And I think one of the reasons why people seem so disconnected with what's happening in the world is because we don't have this connection with nature. I was fortunate enough to go to the northern areas of Pakistan. We trekked to the base camp of Nanga Parbat, which is the 8th highest mountain in the world. It was fascinating seeing the local people and how calm they were and how mindful they were of their actions and the impact on their local environment. And I saw a similar thing in Switzerland as well, where people don't really drive unless they really, really have to. Because they have this connection with nature, you're more mindful. We're living in all these urban sprawls, and people don't really get an opportunity to go out into the countryside and to understand the impacts of our actions, not just in our local communities, but for communities across the world. You're seeing that in the news at the moment with the devastating floods in Pakistan. 40 million people have been displaced. It's a duty upon us to be doing more. Every person can make a difference. You talk to people and say, well, what difference is it going to make if I don't recycle, if I stop driving my car? We're trying to start a movement here. Every person can make a difference, whether it's through the Scouts group, or it's whether through the Healthy Living Partnership, or even within our circle of family and friends. We're living in the middle of all this glorious countryside and hills and mountains and lakes and reservoirs around us. Why aren't we accessing them? And it's just simple things. They don't know where to go. They don't have the confidence. They don't know what equipment or clothing that they need. I say to them, you don't even have to take public transport. Within 10 minutes in the centre of town, you're up in the hills, Norland on one side, you've got Hardcastle Crag and Withins and Ogden. I've been trying to engage with my family and friends who I know could benefit from this, or who have got some long-term conditions that they need to be managing, taking them on local walks. And one of the things that's really, really been successful is, as part of the Scout group, more often than not, kids are doing their own thing, parents are doing their own thing. They don't seem to be doing things in a family unit. We organise a few walks with families of the Scouts, and they were really, really well received. And we're getting constant requests now for us to organise more of these walks. I've set up a local walking group. It's been going on for 10 years now, and we have anything up to 28, 30 people going for a walk. And it's just open to anyone. So we meet twice a week, on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening, and we'll do a quick 7-8 miles. On a Sunday, we'll do a much longer walk. It's just about keeping the messages simple. It's having ambassadors or having a few people in the community to champion these causes. It's not something I get paid for. It's just something I have a massive passion for. I can see how it's benefited myself, my children, my families, and I really want everyone to be accessing these places. You're helping the local economy, going out, flying. It's a very stressful experience. It's a very expensive experience. So, all the more reason to stay local, and also for building bridges between the different communities. One of the reasons I love walking is you meet so many amazing, interesting people. You have this small sort of window of opportunity to look into people's lives and share experiences. And we're just starting a movement now. All of us have a right to be accessing these places. It's about educating people. It's about supporting people, and also just ensuring that people are culturally aware. From our community, we're predominantly South Asian, and a lot of people observe their prayers. So when you go out in the countryside, you went for a long walk, yes, you can pray outside. Are people going to start looking at them? People are going to start reacting. When we first started walking, we did get a few funny looks from people like, are you sure? Are you lost? Or you guys shouldn't be here? But I think that's few and far between now. Our walking group is open to anyone. It's a way of building bridges with other communities in our area. The voluntary sector, the NHS and local authority really need to play a part in this. It has to be integrated. People are drowning in social media. People are looking for a way out. I think they just need someone to hold their hand and just to guide them in the right direction. And then, you've got the spiritual dimension as well. For me, it's an opportunity to connect with my spirituality. When you live in a man-made environment, you kind of get disconnected, from the spirituality or whatever your religious beliefs are. But I think when you go out into nature, you get rid of all the clutter in your mind, and it just allows you to connect. And you're just in awe of what you're seeing, this amazing planet that we're living on, which is so beautiful and so seamless and flawless. And you just wonder, don't you, well, whose artistry is all this? There's a higher purpose to life. You know, there's a reason why we're on this planet, and we've got to live together, and we've got to make this work.
Water, grit, blood and dirt, we're the proudest folk on earth.